There we go.
Yeah. Here, the car started the music on.
And it started.
I will say, you guys are such an inspiration, not just to them, but to me. Literally, me and my partner.
Thank you.
Both have like Kryptonian tattoos based on Smallville.
Nerd, what does it say?
This is it's our anniversary date, actually.
Oh, I can't read Kryptonian.
It's like she didn't know what it was either, but the truth is, I was like, it looks cool for me, so we're just gonna get it.
Before or after the tattoo?
She still kind of doesn't know what it is exactly.
So far away from you guys.
I'm not that naive.
It's funny because Michael has a tattoo on his lower back. He doesn't notice it either.
I have let's do it, got Tijuana.
And it's not easy
That's better.
to shave my head.
Open chair over there. Okay.
Get out of here.
Perfect.
Sometimes I get naked.
All right, there we go.
Sometimes I bleed.
Much better.
This is how it was on set.
Sorry, I took Tom away from
I
you.
always
It's
do
all
by
good.
myself.
This is better for us anyway,
Okay,
right?
good.
First
I will say sorry. I know you're trying to get started. There was a point, I don't know when it started, but we have cast chairs. And it got to a point where when I would come off the set, I didn't have any bandwidth or energy to talk to anybody. So I remember saying to the cast, like, I don't want you guys to be offended, but my cast chair would always be like over there. And the other cast chairs would be here because I just needed like 5 minutes of not talking to anybody. And they were like, yeah, we don't care. We don't want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
Frankie, so we were like, nah, you go sit there.
Hey, did you guys like Smallville Nights last night?
Yes.
That was fun, right?
All right. The first time I've ever seen a Smallville Nights, and it is well worth the price of admission. Jeez, you guys
We
put
had
on a
fun,
show.
yeah.
You know what? I've never seen a Smallville Nights because we've never been invited.
There's a reason for that. You just don't know what it is.
It's a secret.
Yeah, this is a little intimidating for me because I don't think I would have a job had it not been for Michael Rosenbaum, like indirectly, because he is so incredible at, because you're so incredible at interviewing people that I use you for like research.
It is good.
Like I use your show for research, like John Rhys Davies, I just recently did a panel with him. And I watched your whole thing and I was like, dude, there's so many little tidbits I can dive into because of that.
It's the only time you ever see him listening is when he's doing that.
That's true.
But you do such a fantastic job on that, so I want to hear it. Anybody listen to Inside of You?
Anybody listen inside of you with Michael Rosenbaum? Please do subscribe. You like it? It's
And Talkville?
yes, he's coming on. He's coming on. Erika's coming on. Laura's coming on. It's gonna be great. So there's so many episodes, and we dive into real stuff like mental health and life.
The one of the things that Michael does on the show, which I've noticed, is he only brings people on that he's genuinely interested in. And that does come across. Like, you're interested when you talk to the people. You're not just like, I'm just filling an episode. Like, you're into
Yeah,
it.
because I'm always trying to see what helps them get through life. What works for them. So I'm like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is something I've been looking for. So it's like, Laura, how do you do it? Like, what do you do? And just like maybe something she says might trigger something that might help me. So I think that's what it's all about. Thank you, that's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. Now, question for you guys is Smallville. I was into the show, or I got into the show because I'm a big Superman fan. But I stayed for the show because it's a real coming-of-age story about young people that all kind of feel like outsiders at some point, that are just trying to find their place. So for you guys, what is it about Smallville, what did Smallville get right for Superman's enduring legacy that you think the DC and all the fans just embraced it?
Erika?
Excuse me, Tom. It's your show. Talk about that.
I'm not talking.
Okay, everybody loves the Superman mythology because I think they like the idea of good winning over evil. They love the nobility of
Ask the question.
Superman. I know, but I'm just looking at you anyways.
I'm just kidding.
It's my subtle pick it up.
I got you.
No, but I think, okay, what most people have said to me when they've come up to me, specific to my character, was that she was clumsy and human and real, and they felt like they could relate to her. So I think that there's something in all of our journeys when we were younger as characters finding ourselves that people were like, I'm also a misfit. I don't quite fit in, and I have something or someone to look up to.
Yeah, I think you also have, we have a choice. No matter what circumstances, you have in terms of like, Lex, he still had a choice to do the right thing. And he didn't. And And it's also the story before the story. It's like, I think it's really interesting to see how these characters evolved and became Nemesis and that. But I think it's about hope. It's about, what do you think it's about, Tom?
I always think it's a show about heart. And I think that no matter what character, even Lex, I mean, everyone's attempting to lead with their heart. And I think that's what was brought into each scene, which allows it to resonate beyond just what the words were.
And it's relatable too, like you said. Like, you okay?
You were there. Can I just say one thing really quick?
Oh boy.
Diarrhea.
Oh,
Explosive diarrhea. Boom. Yeah.
Okay, finish answering, Laura.
Erika's gonna slap you.
Jesus Christ. No, I was just gonna say, because we're Kryptonian, especially Tom and I on the show, I was new to the show. I felt like a fish out of water. This is an amazing cast. I had already watched for 6 seasons. So I think people related to the fact that she felt like a fish out of water. Like, we all feel like we don't belong in some way. And I felt like I didn't belong on the show. Kara didn't belong on Earth. And we were just stumbling through it and learning. I was learning at the same time that she was. And I think it worked well for the character that, I had a lot to learn, and so did Kara. And obviously with Tom on the show as well, he had the same journey. He was trying to figure out who he was. So I think that's what we all relate to.
That's incredible. Tom, you're a father now. I feel like we all kind of grew up as Jonathan Kent is our dad on Smallville. Do you kind of see yourself kind of relating to Jonathan a little bit more now that you're a dad?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever thought of Jonathan Kent during any fathering moments I've had. No offense to that, but I do know when I did the Crisis, when I appeared on the Crisis, whatever that's called, and Clark had given up his powers, I remember going to set, and the crew is the first time they were ever there on the Kent farm, and they were kind of trying to figure out where they were going to shoot, and I was kind of like, well, this is kind of a good spot, because I didn't want to tell them what to do, but I kind of knew what they needed to do. And when Clark goes and he's got the axe and he's chopping the wood, I'm like, okay, cool, do we have any gloves? And they were like, gloves? I'm like, yeah, well, Clark doesn't have his abilities. And so I ended up borrowing some gloves from one of the crew members. And then what I sort of tried to inflect was Jonathan Kent into Clark in that scene. I kind of tried to walk like him a little bit. When I take off the glove, kind of like Jonathan Kent thing. John was kind of like, John is always kind of, John is very physical when he moves and stuff, and so I tried to almost portray Jonathan Kent in that scene that I did there. That was the first time I've really tried to do that, I guess.
Now, if I could take you guys back to being on set of Smallville, reflecting back, if you could relive one scene, not to change the performance, but to just kind of take it in and be in the moment, what would that one scene be for each of you?
I'm blanking.
Mine would be the water tower scene, my first episode. Because there was such an iconic moment on green screen. I didn't realize how big it would be for me to, stand up and do the Supergirl pose for the first time. So I would have, with the Kelly Clarkson song, it was just epic. And I wish I had taken a moment to go, this is a moment.
Right.
But I was just so nervous I was gonna get fired. So now I appreciate it.
I wouldn't change anything. I don't know what I would do. I just think you just do things naturally in the way you think at the time, and there's no right or wrong. It's just
I literally can't think of a thing.
can't think of it.
I think what I would have done, but you can't really, because you can't replay the past. But one of the things that Tom said to me at one point when we were shooting is, remember, this is supposed to be fun. And I think that I was so intense about it being something that, it's perfect, that I don't mess up, that I don't hold anybody back or do something wrong, that I was forgetting to have fun. And you compared it to me chatting with people before the scene started, and he was like, if you could just be a little of that before we're working, which was great. So I think, I wish I could have relaxed a little bit.
That is
Have more fun.
the best answer that we could give. So
Thank you,
thank you.
Michael.
She speaks for all of us, because just enjoying the moment. That goes for everybody, even out there in your world. It's like being
Right
in the
now.
moment. We're always thinking about the next thing, about the next step, about the future or the past. Just try to be in that moment and enjoy it. Like this moment right now. We have this moment. And now it's gone. Now we're in the next moment. But just try to hold on. Just try to enjoy it. Be present.
What was your guys' personal kryptonite during shooting? Something that you dreaded when you read a script and you knew, oh, this is coming up.
Monday mornings.
Rain.
Listening. Remember we did a scene where we kind of flipped what we did, where you had to talk all the time and then I had only like 3 or 4 lines, and if I can't drive a scene, it's very hard for me. Well, at least it was on that show. And I remember you and I expressed that to each other. You're like, oh God, I have so many lines. And I was like, oh God, nothing. What do I do? And
Shirtless scenes too, or like being sexy. Ugh, sexy Lexi.
Sexy Lexi.
Didn't you hate like being all?
Wait, I want to see what does sexy Lexi look like? Oh, yeah.
Can you do bald?
That's sexier than what he does.
Yes. Yeah, sexy Lexi with diarrhea.
Oh, God.
How about for you,
All right,
Laura? What was
so
your own personal kryptonite on the show where you read something you're like, oh, I have to do this?
I think I hate saying this. My kryptonite was the outfits.
The what?
The outfits that I had to wear.
Sometimes we get excited to take parts.
Yes.
So actors are, we're all obnoxious and weird and sometimes lack a little bit of gratitude. We'll be like, I can't get a job, I can't get a job, get a job. We're like, I hate the job. And so sometimes what happens is we don't look at the things that we have to do. At least that's me.
And grateful.
And then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot I have to wear a bikini or something.
Right.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but I think on Smallville, especially at the time, some of the outfits they put us in were like Britney Spears inspired, and that just wasn't what a superhero would normally wear to get things done. So I was young and wore what I was told to wear, but I look back now, I'm like, I just wish I had said something like that would make me more comfortable.
Sure.
You know?
Tom, I also have those Ray-Ban Metas. Out of curiosity, have you changed the voice on yours to any of these celebrity voices they have?
I actually turned the voice off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Good on you.
I just like the idea. I used these on vacation recently in Costa Rica because
We take pictures.
these can take. I just took your picture right now, whether you like it or not. But what I liked is like playing with my kids and stuff. I got tired of being like, wait, and sticking a phone in their face, and the moment's gone. Because you're breaking it. And so just kind of wearing these around, you can kind of...
That is good quality pictures.
Great.
Sorry to bore you.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor
I'm
about...
live web streaming this whole thing right now.
I heard a rumor about a cruise yesterday.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit more info on that?
Actually, I'm gonna break these on the cruise.
Love,
Yeah, Smallville cruise, about a week and a half away. Take off from Orlando or the coast, and then we go down.
Tickets available going to Honduras.
I know it's sold out.
Coco Cay. I think it's sold out.
Yeah.
The cruises, you might want to get on there just in case Tom's wrong, which is a possibility.
JP.
He's not here. He's at the.
JP knows. If anybody's interested, come by my table, and we'll let you know. But yeah, it's a bunch of it. Every day there's excursions with different
I'm
of us.
swimming with the pigs.
Me.
They're doing ruins.
Riding horses, snorkeling.
Tom's, I don't know.
You guys are going. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go
You
to
zip line?
ruins, and I'm gonna
ruins.
learn about how to make chocolate.
Chocolate.
We have a wine tasting.
Wine
Oh,
tasting.
Oh, there we go.
Karaoke.
Rock climbing, petting sloths, swimming with
Yeah.
Is
pigs.
anybody going?
Yeah, there's a couple people. There's
All right, I want 2 people. Great.
There's
Great,
at
great.
least 6
They're
people
great.
I've met this weekend who are all going. And I'm like, cool, I'll see you in a week and a half. Be fun.
Michael, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
You don't need to know what he was gonna say.
I think that you were the good luck charm for DC, all things DC, from the Flash and the Justice League, and also as Lex Luthor. And I know you're friends with James Gunn, and I feel that DC's on a research. We got the Superman movie coming out this year. Is there some a role in the new DCU that you'd be interested in doing, since you are the the good luck charm?
I don't know. James asked me to do something fun, so I have a couple of lines in the new Superman, but it's just a voice thing, but it's funny in a way because of who I. Anyway, so there was nothing in this one, but I think like he's the head of DC. You think that he put one of his good friends in a movie or something. So he's thoughtful. So I hope that happens. But I think the movie's going to be great. Comes out on my birthday.
You did Guardians too.
I guess you know what you're doing for your birthday.
Guardians, and he's one of my best friends, and he's very loyal, and it's exciting. I think he's got a great vision for DC, and he's putting his heart and soul into it. It stresses him out. I can see he has no time. He's just always working. He wants it to be great.
But I will say, to your point, I've never seen anything that involved Michael not get better.
Facts.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. What about?
Everything that exists or is going to happen that gets you involved gets better.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
100%.
How about questions from the audience? Do they do that, or they don't do that here?
I mean, we can if you want to.
Why?
There's one person.
Okay, bye.
So y'all got to work with John Glover, and he looks like a serious guy, and y'all are a bunch of clowns. And so,
How dare you?
did he get mad at you guys for breaking scenes?
Yes, Glover.
I don't break scenes.
Glover.
We got mad at him all the time.
Well, no, but Glover was kind of upset with me in the beginning, and then he realized, oh, he's being this way. This is Lex. He's annoying me. This is what he's supposed to be doing. So, you know, John was always fun though, right? Glover was always fun on set. But he was a little more serious, so, you know, I was goofing off.
Serious meaning like professional.
Yeah.
Like he didn't goof off, but he was always playful and fun. I remember we were in a scene once in the kitchen, and I don't know what the scene was about, but you know, Lionel comes in and Clark says something, and Lionel's scene was next. And I knew what his line was, and he took a beat. Like but he wasn't saying anything. So I said his line to him like quietly, and he goes, "Thank you, Tom. I'm taking a moment." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." And I felt I'm still embarrassed to this day. But he was just taking an action, like an actor beat.
Who's got a question for Laura? Anyone? Who's got a question? You got a question for Laura? All right, well, let's do it. This better be good. I want you to read.
Oh, by the way, Smallville.
You guys want to come down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you too. Let's all do it.
All right.
This is fun.
Yeah, so they were talking, by the way, my name's Carlton. It was good to see you last night, man.
Hi, Carlton.
So my question was...
Can you do it?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So for Laura, like you said, looking back on things, I guess as an actress, and since your character was kind of getting to know herself, what is something that you think your character, let's say, as she's developed, would say to her younger self if she could say something?
What would I say now to my younger self as Kara? You have the power.
You got the power!
Yes. I think like all of us, especially I personally feel women, like we don't realize the power we hold, that we can stand up and do our own thing. We don't, you know, I was young, I didn't think I deserved the job, all of those things. I would tell myself as an actress at that time too, like, you've got this, you deserved it, you earned it, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I would tell her she's got the power.
Nice.
I learned something recently from a friend of mine. He's an actor and he wants to be a writer, and he has sat in on writers' rooms to get more experience to do that. And I asked him, I said, what did you learn most? He goes, honestly, Tom, the thing I learned the most is that writers they love actors. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you know how like when you feel like you can't speak to anybody or like there's no one there to talk to or discuss? He goes, writers love it when you talk to them. Like they just don't want to bother you. And I felt like that was so encouraging to create, like Laura, you're talking about, those dialogues where you feel like you have a voice, or at least somebody to talk to. The pace of television is very difficult though. Like you get a script you might be shooting tomorrow. So to have that discussion it's very time sensitive a lot of times. But I felt it was encouraging to have those dialogues.
We have a question right here.
Okay, so you guys talk in your podcast about how people get a lot of concussions on the show and just sort of get knocked out. My friends and I made these bracelets because we have this inside joke. We call it the Smallville knockout, right?
You've only got 2. Oh, yeah.
There's one.
You and Erika.
One for you and one for Tom because we could only make 2.
Oh, sorry, Laura.
I'm not gonna take yours. No,
Thank you.
I won't take it.
Is this it? So in case I get a concussion, someone can read this
We
and call
have
the
an
police?
inside joke where every time we see on TV someone gets like barely tapped and then they're conscious for the rest of the scene,
Right.
we call it the Smallville knockout.
Yeah.
Smallville knockout. Lex has been knocked out quite a
I
bit.
think Lana has the record, right?
Lana has the record most times at Ken Medical Center.
But have you guys ever had an actual concussion on
I've
the
had
show?
2.
Yes.
Me too.
Hockey, yeah.
No, I mean on the show. Like on Smallville.
Probably. No.
Has
You don't
Clark ever been
remember.
knocked out?
I know you did.
We got one over here.
Who's got a question for Erika?
Yeah.
Who's got a question for Erika?
Sorry, this light is so bright.
It's school.
All right.
Hi, Erika. My question for you.
Louder.
My question for Erika is, Lois Lane is like the heart and soul of the Superman family, and takes on a lot. And I'm just curious, as an actress, what have you learned from Lois Lane that you've taken into your other roles, or just in the future, or just you as a person?
Good question.
That's a great question, and I feel stressed.
Oh, she already got one.
I love Erika. And we're closer. This is odd. I'm gonna just sit down and pretend we're chatting. What I took from Lois was that it's okay to be human, and I spoke about it a little bit earlier, but the idea that you can be okay with yourself. You make mistakes. And what I loved about her is that she went into the same place that Clark was, but she had no powers. So I found her pretty bloody courageous. So I try to be a little bit more like her in my real life.
I got one for all of you guys.
Let's get a question from back here. A lot of people in the back don't get questions. This guy who decided to sit in the last seat in the stadium. What's your name?
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. He's from Florida?
Left on a Sunday and I didn't get his autograph, but I got it this.
He's an asshole. What's your question?
For Tom, Erika, and Laura, what Marvel character could you see you play?
What Marvel character could you see yourself playing?
All of them. I mean, we're actors.
Give us a list of some of the Marvel characters.
I don't want to mix them
Everybody
up.
see.
I've always loved Catwoman.
That's DC.
But that's DC, and I knew it was what about Harlequin?
There you go, I can see that.
That's what I meant.
Frost, Emma Frost,
Shit.
Je t'aime, comment ça va?
Rose,
Oh God, I don't know. I love DC too much.
Black Widow's Marvel, right?
Yeah.
All right, Black Widow.
Black Widow sounds good. She's a badass.
What's the deal with that?
I would be Peter Quill. What do you guys think?
I like it. I like it. We got one over here. You guys good? Oh, wait.
Oh, there he is.
Let's get it.
I thought,
This is fun, huh? Running around.
I just want to ask all
You guys like this?
if y'all could go back to the Smallville universe and play any other character, especially if
All right, quiet.
same gender or not, who would you play?
So did you hear that, guys?
no.
No.
If you could play any other character in the Smallville universe, male, female, whatever, who would you play?
Clark.
If it was a female character, I would play
Female or male?
Lois.
I
Hey,
play
Lois.
Lionel Luthor.
Because then I get to smooch on Tom.
All that power.
I think I'd play Lex, because it's fun to be bad.
Yeah, Lex is fun to play. It's cool. It's dark.
Yeah.
You get tired of playing dark, though.
No.
I don't know. It's pretty
Given
dark.
that some of us are from a certain generation and grew up in the 70s and 80s, what part, if any, did Margot Kidder or Christopher Reeve or Lex Luthor from like the early Superman motion picture have on your characterization of the character before you started to play it?
Look, I once did a convention and there was a line of people and this guy waited to say to me, Gene Hackman's the best Lex Luthor. And I looked at him and I go, I agree! And he goes, oh. And I do. He was my favorite. I love Gene Hackman. He was one of the most gifted actors ever. I love Margot Kidder. I got to spend some time with her. We gambled together in Illinois once, and she was marvelous. I remember seeing her in Amityville Horror, and I thought she was really sexy. I don't know why I told you that. And, Christopher Reeve, is just an amazing human being. He's Superman. So,
What did you take from Christopher Reeve for Superman?
Pardon?
What did you take from Christopher Reeve for Superman?
He was really funny. All we did was tell jokes to each other the whole time in between takes. And we just really had a great time. And he was really, going back to kind of what you said earlier, he was really enjoying what he was doing there that day. And there was that light from him in that sense. And there's times on set, as you know, where you can get tired and frustrated and stuff. And going back to what you said, you have to remember, gotta have fun. Like, that's the energy. You guys don't want to see miserable people on TV. You know what I mean? And you can see it sometimes when you're with other actors who don't want to be there. And it's so much harder to do that. James Marsden told me once, he's like, there's only one way home. I was frustrated and tired one day. He goes, hey, Tom. I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's only one way home. And I was like, what? He goes, and it's through this scene. And he was so right. Because I wasn't engaging in the scene, it made it even worse. And then we just did the scene. So
I got a question here.
All right.
I have a question for Michael.
Yeah, I'm back here doing my Forrest Gump. Mama told me.
There was one scene where you were playing the piano. Is it true that in reality, do you know how to play piano?
I am a renowned pianist. I just like to say the word pianist. I can play a little piano, but not like that guy. So what they did was they had his arms like this, playing the piano. Oh yeah, sorry. So, what, piano?
No, do you want not pianist? Do you want to mime the piano?
Yeah. So he's playing the piano. He's underneath me, so his head's on my back. He's doing this. Yeah. Why did I tell you that? I should have kept the lure. Yeah, but it wasn't me playing.
There's a little fella here with a question.
Hey, little fella. Why don't you come over here and say something real nice, like? Go ahead. Ask a question. Don't freeze up on me. You got it. Say what you want. You got a question? You just want to say hi?
Don't you ever dream about being Superman?
Do I ever dream about being Superman? I dream that I can fly. Don't you like to dream that you can fly?
Yes.
Yeah! Woo!
Good job.
We got one back here for Laura and Tom.
All right, where's Laura? Go back there, back in the bell. We got one right there. He's got it.
Hi guys, it's great seeing all of you. And Tom, I want to ask you, did you have a personal trainer for every season of Smallville? Because as we all know, you were in great shape throughout the entire series.
That's past tense, thank you.
And now.
You know, the answer is no, I didn't have time. What I would do is I ended up working out with the stunt guys a lot on the weekends, or maybe if I had an afternoon where I wasn't working, there's places that they train, and it's like kickboxing and like gymnastics and things like, and that was always fun to do. But I really didn't have time for a trainer, and I was just young enough to get away with it.
I just kept doing as many push-ups as I could until we started filming. So they'd say you're gonna be shirtless next week. Wait, hundreds of push-ups until we shot, just so you know. And then they cut it because it wasn't sexy enough.
We also had one for Laura too here.
Hi, Laura.
Hey.
So it was great hearing that you were a fan of the show since the beginning. And I want to know, when you first found out that you got the role as Supergirl, what did you do to celebrate?
Freaked out. I was actually just saying this in the car on the way here to Erika. There's about 3 minutes where you celebrate. This is for me. And then you just shit your pants. Like,
Did you say shit your pants?
I did. I'm sorry.
Now you're speaking my language.
But I didn't really celebrate because for the screen test, I had to fly to LA by the next day, and I auditioned with 3 other girls with the producers. And then they said, you stay here, everyone else go home. I spent 1 night in LA, and then I got the job, and I had to move.
2 other girls.
3, yeah. And we all sat in their room together, too. Like, it was very awkward. It was awful. But I would say there's no celebration. I celebrate now. The fact that I got to play her, but during that time, I was just terrified.
We got a question here.
Yes, you.
Michael.
Oh, me?
You didn't seem terrified on set.
You played a movie called Dragonlance, Dragons Along Twilight. You played tennis. What made you get in that role? Did you know that?
You saw that? It was cool. I just auditioned. No, they just offered it to me. And I went and recorded it. I didn't know anything about it. And I thought it was really cool.
know anything about it either, but I just was reading their book, reading one of the books or whatever, and they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And they said that this movie was made in 2008, and it was with
Kiefer Sutherland, Lucy Lawless.
Lucy Lawless. I thought it'd be popular, but
I thought it'd be better. Yeah, me too. Me too.
We have a question for Tom.
All right. Hey, Tom.
Hi.
Thanks.
Welcome to Earth.
Hey, I made
That's
it.
awesome.
It took me 2 years and it just fell out. But anyway, on Smallville, we all saw that you threw away the kryptonite, right? Is there any way that it can be clean and then you can pick it up and get a trip to the Antarctic? Remember that? I told you. Actually, I think I told Laura about that.
Oh.
If you can take that clean crystal, take it back to the Antarctic, and then.
I have no idea. I just don't know.
We all, pretty much everybody, every fan wants to see one thing that we barely saw. My question is, like, will you ever do a full Superman costume?
Every Halloween, I actually dress up as Superman.
In Smallville.
Oh, no, not in Smallville. No. I don't know. I mean, no one's ever really approached me from a film standpoint, so I don't know. I mean, I'd be open to it, but yeah. I hear they're not very comfortable.
Okay, I have a question back
I'll have to
there.
have you make it.
Erika's got a...
Okay, I have a question for.
Speak loudly.
I'm basically cherry picking questions for myself. So,
Okay, so for me, you were a badass woman who really stood up for like who you are and didn't really give a shit what anybody else thought. So how much of that is your actual personality infused into the character?
she's all like, I feel like my friend should answer this question.
I was going to jump in.
Tom's gonna answer. Yeah.
So there was a point in Smallville where
Yeah, they're working.
Lois, Erika was already there. She established the character. She was doing the scenes. And I remember one time you came up to me and you were like, I don't know what this is. And I was like, what are you talking about? And the dialogue had all these dots and dashes trying to stagger the dialogue. And she said, I don't understand why they're doing this. I can do this on my own. Because that's the way she was playing the character. They started to write it that way. And she had to, I don't know if you talked to them or I talked to them, but it was like, you don't need to do that. Erika can do that herself. And so
back myself into a corner.
Yeah. And so that was something that's just all her.
But Erika is such a badass. She really is, and she's
I'm
the
back into a corner, I am.
She's the kindest person you'll ever meet, and super talented. So all of that in that character you see, but she kicks ass and she's
You don't have to,
sarcastic.
that's for sure.
Got a question over here.
The best.
Tom, who did you like kissing more? Chloe, Lana, Lois, or Lex?
Lex.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, we got one for you back here.
Hey, Michael, I want to know how much.
She knows me?
Yeah. How much did you enjoy working on the movie Sorority Boys?
I love Sorority Boys. Sorority Boys was a blast.
Did you have input on your wardrobe on that movie?
Let me tell you something. Until you start waxing and shaving and walking down the road with heels on and having guys look at you and stare at you, these crew guys, when I'm in full drag, they're not that far away, but they think I'm a woman. They're just like staring at me, and I'm like, this is what women feel like all the time. And I was like, wow, it's hard to be a woman.
You want a hug?
Yeah.
We've got a question.
I have a brand new respect for women after I did that movie. I truly did.
Okay, hold on. We have a question.
That's a good takeaway.
Hi, it's really great seeing all of you guys. My main question is, out of all of the villains in Smallville, sans Lex, you can't choose him. Who is your favorite villain to fight?
Doomsday. Brainiac.
I kind of like Bug Boy, too. I got a question for all you guys back here, way back here.
First of all, I want to say thank you for bringing Smallville to us because it's made the landscape what it is today. So thank you for being first.
Thank you for watching and supporting us. Thank you.
Thanks for
We wouldn't be here without you
You
guys.
don't realize that without you guys, we're nothing, period. Everything we do, if you don't support us, if we don't have support, it doesn't become a success. It doesn't work. So it's people like you, that fans and friends that just make dreams come true. So you made a lot of dreams come true, so thank you.
So my question is for all of you, although we've been talking about all this great stuff in the past, I'd love to hear if anybody have any upcoming things that you're doing.
Bad luck to talk about things.
I'm pitching 2 shows right now. I just pitched to Netflix and trying to get them made. And I have 2 horror movies I'm trying to get made and doing the podcasts and just trying to enjoy life a little bit.
I'm supposed to do something in September. We'll see if it actually comes together. It's supposed to, but I'll eventually be able to talk about it more, but I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. How about you guys?
Laura and I are gonna do a movie next year together.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
For fun. Where we're the end of the world and we get to fight each other. And
Are you guys directing it?
No, it would be lovely to do that. Yeah, so we're gonna go do that next year.
Yeah,
Be the
it's a lot of
director.
fun. I have a Christmas movie coming out this year if you like Christmas movies.
What's it called?
I don't know if they're gonna change the, I hope they change the title.
What's it called? Christmas Now.
Melt My Heart This Christmas.
Oh, who's gonna go see that?
I love that.
How did you not raise your hand in that moment?
Yeah.
We have a question out here for all of you guys.
Were y'all expecting?
Louder.
Were y'all expecting the
Eat it.
reaction from the fans after the first season?
It was different for us because we didn't have social media to sort of see what was happening like all these other shows. I always said that if Smallville came out and social media was kicking, we'd all have millions of followers. But you know, it was just a different time, so we didn't have that instant gratification or that moment where we could see. We didn't know we were famous. We didn't know the show was, how good the show was. We didn't really know until you went out in public and you started, people came up to you, or you went to a convention, you're like, oh my gosh. I remember my grandfather, the first time I came to a con, I brought him, and there was tons of people in line, and he goes, why are all these people in line? Well, I guess they're here to see me, Irv. And he's like, why would they do that? That's extraordinary, you know? So it was just, you know, those little things, but I think we were lucky that social media wasn't out. I think it made us a little more...
It was healthier, for sure.
Tom, I have a question for you because you're actually in one of my favorite films, Draft Day.
Yeah.
It is an absolutely incredible movie. Kevin Costner and Chadwick Boseman. Can you talk about your experience working on that film?
I mean, I love that movie. They play it during when the draft comes on every year, and I end up watching it because I never remember how exactly he pulls it off, all the trades, and so I always end up watching it. But I remembered wanting to do it because I wanted to meet and work with Kevin Costner, and we did this scene where my character is kind of yelling at him, and I remember the first take, I'm yelling at him, and then I blanked on my line. I just, in mid-yell, and the director's like, cut, and I turned around and I was like, kind of yelling at myself, like, God damn it. And he came over to me, put his hand on his shoulder, hey, it's okay. I go, no, it's not okay. I was like, it's not okay. And in my mind, I'm like, I just messed up, I'm talking to Kevin Costner. He goes, just do me a favor, when I forget my line, don't hold it against me. And it took all the pressure away. And then we just went and did another take and everything.
That's a pro.
That was such a pro move.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I didn't know it, I just got lost in the moment, and I love meeting and working with actors where you can learn those things, and a lot of it's a reminder of things that you may know, but you're not aware of. And the other stories I like are about all the actors who were jerks and a-holes on set. I love those stories, because a lot of times those actors aren't around anymore. Because they weren't nice.
I always ask that in the podcast. I always say, you ever work with assholes? And sometimes people tell me stories. Yeah. I love it. How do you deal with it? What do you say something to them, or you're...
Incredible. We got a question over here.
How long is this panel?
We have 5 minutes left.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is for everybody. Did you take anything from set after the show, or a costume, or a prop, or anything?
Memories.
Are you kidding me? I took everything. Zod's jacket, ship keys, Lex's glasses, Lex's water bottles,
Clark's shirt,
the white suit, his shirt, jumpsuits, pieces of art.
Like almost all my wardrobe.
Fuck, hell yes, take it, man.
It was great.
take it. I've got it in my closet.
You know, I met someone who informed me that I think this was like 2 years after Smallville ended, because they keep a lot of the wardrobe and the props and stuff, right? In case we got to use them again. And they sold everything for $45,000 to this guy who now owns it and sells these things online at cons and has made a big profit on that. But a lot of times you can't just steal things unless you're Michael. You especially can't ask. If you're gonna take it, you have to take it. You can't ask for it.
I love free shit. Who doesn't? Who loves free shit? Yeah, man, I'm a kid in a candy store. I'm like, you don't want that? All right, I'll take it.
We have a last question over here.
What did it feel like whenever you were wearing the suit at the end of the show?
I'm assuming that's for you, Tom.
Me? Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't the full suit. We had a whole 2-hour meeting about that one shot. It was very specific, and the wardrobe, the head of wardrobe who was in the meeting at the end said, so let me get this straight, you're not gonna see the whole suit, right? And they're like, no, we're only gonna see this part. And she goes, okay. And so what happened is they only made that part. They didn't spend the money to make a whole suit that they weren't gonna see on camera. So really it was more or less a t-shirt that I was wearing. And so it was quite comfortable.
It was cool. It was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you love this, you gotta check out Smallville Nights, because this is just a piece of what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
Please check out Smallville Nights when it comes to your town. Again, guys, this has been an honor. This is full circle.
Hey, give it up.
Thanks for making this fun, guys.
Yeah.
You're awesome. Hey, we'll be at our tables for a few hours before we fly out. Come see us, taking photos. We love you. We couldn't do this without you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dallas.
Here for the cast of Smallville.